What's going on, y'all? Nick here, coming to you with another video. So, we got an interesting topic today. We have the Passport Brothers. Only weak men travel. So, before I even give my 2 cents, let's actually build the foundation of this topic. All right. So, the Passport Brothers is pretty much a movement that has been getting a lot of popularity over the last couple of years. You have these men in America. um Pretty much they believe that the dating market just sucks. Just to keep it blunt, it sucks ass. It's trash. And a main reason as to why they believe it is trash is because they believe that women today, the American women, the liberal minded women, um they pretty much have made the dating scene, the dating market, extremely difficult to operate in. So thus the Passport Brothers, they travel overseas in hopes to find love elsewhere, right? Supposedly. So this is why I'm gonna dive into this video. Again, before I even give my 2 cents, I just want you to watch some of these videos and please chime in the comments as to what you believe about the Passport Brothers. Are Passport Brothers weak-minded individuals? Are they weak men, or are they justified in traveling overseas? All right, get comfortable, pull a drink. You get what I'm saying? So let's continue with these videos. So let's actually get into it.
If the women are already the way you described, if they're already submissive, they're already raised to see things that way, why would the guy be wrong for going to a place where the women are already like that? How is he taking advantage of them if
There's
they're
nothing
already
wrong
like
with that.
that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do,
I was just asking.
I'm trying to answer. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's usually weaker guys that do it because they're intimidated by women that have more experience or awareness of the world. Eastern European women, South American women, these are very easy to manipulate people that don't know any better. They don't know shit. If you're going to like poor areas, especially, right?
Let me ask you this.
All right. So notice this guy's premise. He said that women overseas, they are weaker women. Now, I want you guys to chime in. Are you married to women overseas? Do you agree with that sentiment that the reason why Passport Brothers get women overseas is because these women are easier to manipulate? Just chime in. Again, me personally, it's hard for me because I don't believe I'm gonna travel just to find a wife, right? But with that being said, I don't want to lie. My wife is from Haiti, right? She's not technically from America, so perhaps that's the reason why she is more submissive. Again, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. But with that being said, do you believe with this blue haired guy, his name is Destiny? Do you believe what he had to say is true, that women overseas are easier to manipulate? All right, let's dive in, y'all.
Ask you this, Destiny. Do you think it's possible that there might be guys that they do well with women here, they get women here, they date women here, they could even marry women here, they've been married to women here, or whatever, but they still prefer the women in these other countries? Is that guy still weak if he has no problem attracting women here?
It's possible, but like I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation about the reason why people in general say statements. If you want to give me this like hyperspace, well, there might be a guy that does well here and then he goes to other countries. See, that's not who we're talking about, because by definition,
that was called sarcasm. There's a lot of guys that travel that are doing quite well here. No,
hold on. You open this conversation with guys do simping behavior for women here and it doesn't work, and then they simp in other countries and it doesn't work. That's what we're talking about, guys.
We're already having the discussion. I said an example is regardless of what your approach is or your personality is with women, regardless of what your charisma is, you still have a better shot in these other countries. Whether you're a 4, a 5, a 3, 8, a 10, whether you make 20,000 a year, 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, either way, you have a better shot there. So if you're closing.
So let's actually dive into that real quick, because Destiny mentioned that the premise is that there's men who engage in simping behavior over here. It doesn't work, so thus these simp men travel overseas and they engage in the same simp behavior, but it happens to work over there. Thus these women are weaker minded, weaker individuals. And I personally, I would love to hear from you guys. Please put in the chat what you guys believe, but I think that couldn't be any more further away from the truth. Back in the day, simple things like opening a door for a woman, right? That was just considered just being chivalrous, right? It was just chivalry. it's just being a decent human being, especially if you're going out with a woman. You would open the door. You get what I'm saying? You'll pull out the chair. You might do certain things, and nobody back then considered that simp behavior. Now, what I've seen, especially from a lot of these women podcasts, these men may engage in some of this behavior that, perhaps they were taught by their parents, like that is the way to actually treat a woman. That's the way to actually just be respectful. And today they label that as that's simpish. Today they label it as that man is somehow weak. And again, I just don't think that's the case at all. But I would like to hear from you guys. Do you believe that, simp behavior, these men, passport brothers, they engage in simp behavior, and that's the reason why they unable to obtain women? The man also brought up that aspect of finances, right? How much a man makes. I've heard these crazy dialogues amongst women where, a man has to make six figures. He has to make us six figures in order to even be, able to approach them. Now, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Like, okay, so is a man a simp because he has to somehow make a crazy amount of money? You know what I'm saying? So this man is somehow weak because he makes $50,000 a year, which, that's pretty good. I'm not saying you shouldn't strive for more, but he's not broke. He's not struggling. He might make $50,000 a year. But today's in America, right? They would consider that man as, ineligible to actually even approach them or talk to them or whatever the case may be. So now if you have a woman overseas who doesn't even value, that $50,000 that much, or more so, they just respect the man because they understand that, okay, not everybody could be a millionaire. Not everybody could be some superstar, driving a Lambo. Like, this man, is he a hardworking man? Can he provide? I believe you could provide with $50,000. Matter of fact, I know you can. There's many people in America who are doing it as we speak. And I don't think these men are any less than, a lot of these women too, their fathers was not even making no six figures. Their fathers were probably plumbers, mechanics, things of that sort. They had humble jobs, and now they wouldn't even consider their fathers. I guess their fathers are scrubs. But again, I would like to hear from you guys. Let's actually continue with this video.
The deal 3 times a month in America, you'll close the deal 8 times a month in another country. That's the argument that I was having, is that no matter what your strategy is, you do better with the women in these other countries. I don't think it's only isolated to men that are weak. I don't think only weak
I disagree.
men
That's fine. We can agree to disagree. That's fine. If you need to go down to other areas where you've got a better shot because you can't hack it here, then go do that. That's fine. That's great.
You're making a straw man argument right now. You're better than this.
No, that's what he literally is saying. He's literally saying that, like, well, they won't do as well here and they can do better in other places. That's fine. They go to other places and do it. That's fine. I'm saying you can go for it. That's fine. Amen, dude.
Thank you for watching Mentuition. If you guys
all right, so there's another clip I actually want to show you guys, right? So bear with me. So now here's this video from the Young Turks, right? And this is interesting because I think this is gonna really show you the mindset of some of these individuals today. Again, there's just this very weird idea that somehow because a man travels overseas and finds a wife, that makes him weak. But I wonder, is that viewed, in reverse? Like, if somebody from, let's say, China comes over here to America, was he too weak to deal with the women in China, so he had to find an American woman? Do they use that type of logic? Again, I think it's nonsensical. I don't think the man is weak. Now, again, that's me saying this. Listen to what I'm saying. I am not advocating for people to spend money and travel overseas. Don't put words in my mouth. That's not what I said. However, I'm simply trying to answer the question. Are men, passport brothers in particular, are they weak because they travel in hopes to find love? Does that make them a weak individual? Or are they simply in tune with reality and they understand full well that the dating market in America, as it currently stands, is utterly trash? This is what we're trying to answer. This is what I want you guys to answer. But let's actually watch this video real quick.
Hey, there's a lot of fun things to do out here in Thailand besides just looking for a wife. People here are fun and friendly. They have a beautiful culture, amazing food. You can live like a king for like $2,000 a month. I'm traveling the world right now. I'm a single guy and dating, so I have an experience, and it's absolutely the truth that it's better. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to say. It's the inconvenient truth you guys don't want to hear. Hey, we're out here having fun, living our best lives, and if you think you're going to stop us with some middle school disses about, oh, you're a loser, you got another thing coming.
I don't even know you. And Thailand does look fun. But that gentleman is part of a subculture in America. They're referred to as the passport bros. Who are the passport bros? Well, they're individuals who aren't really satisfied with their options here in the United States. And so they are traveling the world in search of a partner, of a wife, someone to share their lives with. John, let's watch more.
Oh, you have passport bros?
What is a passport?
Okay, passport bros are men that are so fed up with Western women because we're all apparently so woke and so terrible, and Western women don't want to be wives, that they are now going to other countries to find wives.
That's like which countries?
Southeast Asia, the Philippines, the Dominican Republic.
So it's like the opposite of the mail order bride.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so they're, instead of ordering out, instead of using stamps.com.
Yeah, and bringing them here,
right,
they're like,
they're
we want to get out.
Travelocity. It feels more expensive, but.
It is. And so a lot of these men get remote jobs. And so they go there and they live in these countries and then they meet.
Well, is it more expensive? I don't think it's more expensive. In fact, they might actually be saving a lot more money. It may be expensive to travel there initially. Again, saying getting the actual passport and the plane ticket to get there, but there the dollar stretches a lot further in these countries, and this is the reason why that guy that you saw in the early on in that clip. This guy's saying he's living like a king. He's having a bunch of fun because his dollar is stretching far over there in Thailand. So yeah, I totally disagree. Now, all of that is predicated on the fact whether or not he can actually continue making money, American money. So that's the thing I don't really understand. Like, you know, yeah, the cost of living is cheap over there, but if they travel over there, are they still, you know, are they still keeping the jobs that they have in America, or did they stack up so much that they could pretty much live, you know, into oblivion in these overseas countries? That I don't know, right? But yeah, let's actually continue.
Then they meet these women, and then women in the Western world, specifically the United States, are so pissed off about it, and they're like, you're going to all these countries where these women don't even know how to speak English, they can't even read, they're so uneducated. And then the men like film themselves with these women and like show themselves on dates, and the women are so elegant and they're so well spoken and they're so traditional, and they're like, look at these women. Yeah, passport bros, because Western women are so bad.
Did not know about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I'm here.
Interesting. I mean, I did marry a woman from abroad. I mean, she'd been in America since she was 12. But still, she's Israeli.
So. There you go.
Yeah.
You're like a reverse passport, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she came here and she got citizenship, so.
You didn't import her?
I did not import my wife, no.
Make that very clear.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Ugh.
I mean, look, I love my country and I love my people. And when I say people, I mean Americans in general. And so I kind of don't like dissing Americans. It turns me off. But if people need to travel outside of America to find their partner, okay.
Yeah, first of all, it's not like you call it passport bros. That doesn't make it new or whatever. Like going somewhere where the dollar can be stretched further and you think you'll have more control over the women that you enter into a relationship. That's not new. That's a really old thing. So, and you can do it. By the way, the thing that I don't know that guy in the first video. The thing that's the issue isn't what they're doing, it's the way that they are trying to clearly make sure we know that there's a spin to it in their videos. Like, there are people who just want to live in another part of the world. They do like the culture, they do like the geography, they like the food or whatever. But when your whole thing is advertising to other men as an influencer, because you're the one putting out those videos, he's like, don't give me your grade school things. I didn't make you film that video, you put it out there because you're trying to sell a lifestyle, and the lifestyle is luxurious exploitation. That's what you're trying to, and you could do that, that's fine. So
that's a very good point from this guy. Now, with that being said, I don't totally agree with him. I don't think that they doing it with the intent to somehow manipulate women. Again, I just don't think that's the case. I think it's sad because dudes like this, sometimes it makes me wonder, you know, are they a little bit off? And you know, for those who have the ears to understand, you know, I'm sure you know what I mean by off, especially in this world that we live in today. But, you know, I just don't believe that is their motivation. Like, they're trying to show that these women are easily to be manipulated. No, I don't think that's the case. I think now I do agree with him in the sense that, you know, if this lifestyle is truly pleasing to you, you don't necessarily have to market it. You don't need to market it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind of weird the world that we live in, where it's just like we're trying to show everybody, you know, in social media, every single aspect of our lives. Like, that's just weird and cringe in and of itself. But that's the world that we live in. Regardless of the case, I do believe the reason why they might go that route is because they are literally they view themselves sort of like this weird form of freedom fighters. I feel like they view themselves as fighting against a system, and the system as we currently know it is like this liberal minded system, this, you know, very left wing democratic system. I think they're trying to fight against that particular establishment, and thus they put forth these videos to kind of wake other people up. And, you know, and that's why Passport Brothers, you know, it's kind of like the offshoot of mgtow and Red Pill as a whole. Like, these people believe they're trying to wake up and wake other people up out of the system. Now, with that being said, again, you know, you could technically go over there and you don't need anybody to, nobody needs to even know. So it does kind of make me wonder, like, what is your motivation really? You know, like, why do you need people to know that you're having so much fun and that, you know, these women are so available to you? So that makes me wonder. But again, I do believe that anybody that tries to put Passport Brothers down as if like these guys are somehow weak, I think they're totally out of touch with the reality of the dating market today. Not that I advocate for dating anyway, but I'm simply answering the generic question or the topic of this video, right? So let's keep going, y'all.
I'm less bothered by that than whoever the woman with Ben Shapiro was. I don't know her or what her
I thought it was
politics
just
are.
Ben Shapiro wearing a wig. I'm just kidding.
I
honestly
know
that it was Brett Cooper. Just joking around.
Okay, well, I don't know who that is or what her politics are.
They do look like each other, though. Like,
are they related?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I love that she either just jokingly or felt like she needed to do PR for the guys. Like, you know, these are guys who are just like frustrated with the women, whereas they're super elegant. We're trash in this country. We're utter trash.
By the way,
really
there's
fast.
such a wide variety in the United States. Yeah, there's trash if that's your thing.
Sure.
There's also a lot of classy, beautiful, independent, educated women. Like,
I got the last one, sorry.
There are 330 million people in America. Like, why are we
all trash? No, but that's the thing. Like, the PR is these guys are frustrated with women here because.
Yeah, you see, again, and I get, are they right? They're absolutely right, right? And all women in America are not trash. That is absolutely true. There are a lot of women in America that are still, you know, if you want to use that term, dateable, marriageable. Let's say that, right? Yeah, sure, you can find good, you know, decent women anywhere in the world, right? But again, this is disingenuous because in saying that, I think they're not in tune with reality. Like, what is the overarching, you know, theme? What is what we see? What is most prevalent in society today? What's most prevalent is a bunch of Western European, you know, liberal-minded women. That's just the hard, stone cold hard fact. That's just what it is. Majority of the women today, they are not marriage material. They're just not. They are just not. You know, you have a whole bunch of women that have totally forsaken traditional values. You know, they show all their goods on social media. They openly claim that, you know, they all vying for the same pool of men. I mean, there's so much studies. I've done videos about this in times past. I mean, like, they're literally fighting for, I believe, like 4% of the men in the world. And a lot of it, I believe, has been propagated because of social media. You get what I'm saying? Now that the whole world have access to these women, like, they literally, we here in America, and you can literally see a woman all the way in China just on your phone, y'all. And could you imagine on the flip side what that can do to a woman where a woman now who may be average, she might be average, but now she has a totally inflated sense of her self-worth. Why? Because of social media. You have a bunch of thirsty men, which let's actually touch on this, right? Because by no means do I want to make it seem as if, I'm woman bashing. No, that's not the case. I am not woman bashing. Again, there are a lot of good women, but they are not the majority here in America. And if they are, there are a lot of them. They are not the ones that are promoted in social media. The ones that are promoted in social media are the sexy reds. You know what I'm saying? All the like that trashy women. Those are the women that are promoted in social media. Those are the women that, they just filthy. They're just straight up dogs. And now, because that's what's promoted in social media, what you have is a bunch of women idolizing those type of women. They're never going to put the woman that actually covers herself. They're never going to put the woman that's not shaking her ass and twerking all over the place. They never try to promote those women. So, and this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? Like the quote unquote good woman is not even promoted. So they're very few and far in between. So when you have a movement like the Passport Brothers, because now they're saying like, okay, where are these women in the first place? How am I going to find this quote unquote good woman? So they travel overseas. Again, I'm not advocating for it. I'm simply showing you or revealing to you why this movement probably exists. And for the young Turks, these dudes in this video, to somehow try to ignore reality and try to act like, oh, well, these men are weak. These men are trying to manipulate women overseas. I think that's totally disingenuous. It totally is disingenuous.
The women are bad. It's not that the guys can't hack it. It's not the guys don't have what it takes or can't evolve or learn, that they're not willing to meet people halfway, that they can't find a satisfactory relationship. It's that the women are trash. That's why they have to flee to another country.
Listen, the gentleman in the TikTok video that we showed earlier, it's just that like, there aren't a sufficient amount of women in America who are willing to like pour cups of jizz-like substances on him as he's walking through the streets.
I don't know exactly what. I assume that's like a festive thing. I don't know.
What was going on in that video? Does anyone know?
Right.
Like,
she's totally ignorant.
I don't know. I haven't been to Thailand. We'll ask Bray.
And she's totally ignorant. Now she's talking about jizz-like. Even the terminology she's using. What they were throwing on the man was nothing more than just water. It's literally a water festival. So they do it every year in Thailand where, if you're walking in the streets, they're going to throw water balloons and all that stuff. But she has to try to sexualize it because, again, what they're trying to do is demonize these men that travel overseas because apparently they have like a fetish. That's what it is. The only reason why they're over there is because they have a weird fetish. And so now that's why she has to use terminologies like jizz. No, it's just the water. They literally just poured water on the guy.
That's Bray. He's been there. But yeah, what they're doing can be fine. But they seem to want to make sure that we know that it's not. That this is an exploitative thing. This is trying to down on westernized women or the fact that they believe they should have rights or something.
It was soap, by the way, that they're throwing on him.
It's a good start.
So apparently, even in Thailand, they know he's a dirty boy. Okay? Just kidding.
It's probably made his day if he sees you saying that, but.
No, I hear what you're saying, by the way. Like, I have no problem with men doing this if they feel that this is what they need to do to find someone. Listen.
It's not just men, by the way. Women don't go abroad to meet people?
I mean, maybe they do. I'm unfamiliar with that practice.
Isn't like eat, pray, love? Isn't love one of the three? Like, I think that's what people do.
I don't think there's a subculture of women in America who are like, men in the U.S. suck, and so I'm going to go to Thailand to find my husband.
Yes, I'm not saying the subculture. I'm just saying the practice exists.
Sure.
People go abroad and meet people all the time.
Yeah.
It's that they're trying to like layer this Andrew Tate pickup artist thing onto it.
Look, I think that what the videos that they're posting are meant to say is that they're not happy with the women here. Like, it's just a way of insulting women in America. That's it. That's all it is.
That's not the message I get from it, but that's definitely the message they want to send.
Yeah, and like the thing is,
you see, and that's why she's butthurt ultimately, right? She's obviously an American woman, and that's the reason why she's offended by the movement of the Passport Brothers, right? I would like to hear from you guys. Put it on the chat, please. From your general experience with the women in America, are majority of the women marriage material? I just would like to hear from you guys. You get what I'm saying? Because it's one thing for me to state what I believe, but I'm only one person, and I'm not the epitome of the truth. I'm just not, right? Again, as for my own personal, experience in this world, I do not believe the American women, as we know them today, are marriageable material. I just don't. From all the twerking, from showing all the goods on social media, with all the inability to submit and obey their man. And yes, I did say submit and obey, right? With their inability to be cooperative, you know what I'm saying? And just be pleasurable to be around. They always confrontational. And me, this is all generalizations, right? It's never all. It's never 100%, all right? So I don't want nobody to take this and run with it. No, it's not all American women, but it's majority. It's enough for the men to be like, all right, you know what? I might as well just hightail it out of here and find love somewhere else. And the fact that these women are not bitching, you see, that's what I just don't understand. Because with all the talks with women bashing men in America, now when American men finally say, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm going to go elsewhere. Now they bitching again and saying that these men are too weak. You didn't even want these men. So what if you didn't want the men? So what? They don't deserve to find someone else? Matter of fact, someone put it very good. I'm going to actually go to this next video here. Check this out, y'all. Let me try to expand it real quick for you guys to see. But let's actually watch this.
Let me get this straight. You have been telling men for years that you don't want them, that you don't need them, that they don't meet your standards, that they don't treat you right, that you can pay for your own hair, you can pay for your own nails, you can afford your own home, you can afford your own car. Men are good for nothing.
Come on.
You're strong, you're independent. But then you get mad when these men go to another country to actually find a woman that has the qualities that they are looking for in a wife. Make it make sense. I also want to talk about why this mindset that so many Western women have is actually extremely problematic. Because not only are you putting down the men who are going overseas with pure intentions, you're also putting down the women from these other countries solely off of the fact that they were not brought up in a Western culture. Because you're calling them uneducated, you're calling them poor, you're calling them weak, you're calling them vulnerable. You're creating a superiority complex where you are at the top and women from all these other countries are at the bottom. Now let me tell you something. If you were really superior, the men would not be leaving. And you would not be single.
Ooh. So y'all heard that, right? So this girl, let me see if I could go back real quick. Check this out, y'all. Let me see if I could go back, because this girl, what she said was nothing but fact. That Asian girl, right? She couldn't have said it any better. My issue with the whole situation, right, is like I said earlier in the live stream, like I married someone. I didn't travel overseas, but my wife is from another country, right? She's from Haiti, and what the thing about it is that the way these women are raised over there, they are naturally more submissive. They actually love to cater to their man. That does not make them weak. That's just the way they grew up. So now here you are, just like that woman said, because you believe you're so superior to these women over. You see, this is exactly why men can't stand American women. And I'm going to digress, but I'm still on point. Because I remember a long time ago, there used to be this running theme that, immigrants and people in other parts of the world, they couldn't stand Americans. And why was that? They couldn't stand Americans because they were so damn arrogant. Americans in general usually think they're way better than everybody else, as if their shit don't stink too. You see, and this is the problem. You see, America is not better than these other countries. Yeah, we might have a greater military might, but that does not make us better as human beings. You see, so now getting back on track, because again, I digress to just show you this point. You see, that same arrogance is not only prevalent. We could use America as this umbrella term, but both American men and American women, they are extremely arrogant. But in this case, it's the American woman. These American women, they look at every other woman from every other part of the world as if they're inferior, as if they're uneducated, and that is not the truth. That is not the truth. No, these women, the American women, they are so educated that they're actually dumb. That's the irony of it all. They have all these degrees, and despite the fact that they have all these degrees, they still can't keep a man. So how smart are you? How smart you have all these degrees. You got all these letters attached to your name. BA, MA, PhD, all this shit. And with all these letters attached to your name, you still can't keep a man. Why? Because your education tells you that I don't have to serve this man. Your education tells you that I don't got to cater to this man. Your education tells you that you're equal with your man. And that's the reason why these men are just like, hey, you know what? I might as well just hightail it out of here. I might as well just leave. This movement, again, am I advocating for men to leave America? No, that's not what I'm advocating. I would like to actually hear from some of you guys in the comment. What do you guys think? Do you think these passport brothers are weak because they have to travel? I really would like to hear from you guys. Do y'all honestly believe that these men are weak because they have to travel overseas? Or do you think they are absolutely justified because they're tired of the bullshit that they are dealing with here in America? I personally believe it's the latter. I think they are fed up with the bullshit here in America. And I'm telling you guys, even from personal experience, I've dated a lot of, if you want to use that term, I've dated a lot of women, right? And I'm going to tell you how crazy that American mindset is, right? A lot of times I've dated even women who are quote unquote from, other parts of the world, right? But even when they come over here and they start getting the Americans' education, mercy. You see, this is why a lot of these brothers, they go overseas and they don't even try to bring these women back. They don't even try to bring these women from these other countries back here in America, because I think I heard this one video saying that they'll be tainted. They go as far as to say that these women will be tainted if they were to bring them back here to America. And that's the truth. I remember dating a whole bunch of women, in my youth. And a lot of these women who were not even from America, just because they got, educated, all of a sudden they were on their high horse. They thought they were better. They thought they didn't have to listen. And it's just like, all right, by all means, both of us can't wear the pants. I'm sorry, both of us cannot wear the pants. And see, and this is the kind of talk that when you talk this way, they're gonna throw like, oh, it's about equality. Okay, you could be as equal as you want, just not over here, not in my house, not in my house. People with this mindset, they will label them a bigot. People with this mindset, they would say, oh, he's a narcissist. They're going to throw all these terms. He's what's that? Misogynistic. That's the term, the new term they like to throw out there now. They're misogynistic. No. There cannot be two heads. One person got to lead and somebody got to follow. It is what it is. It is what it is. So again, I don't blame no man if they actually want to just find women who's actually going to be on their program, and that's not going to give them a bunch of lip, right? I actually want to share something with you guys, right? Let me see if I can find it real quick. My apologies for that, y'all. Let me see if I can expand this real quick. All right, here you got, check this out, y'all. You have Isaiah 3. And it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. Now, I want to ask you, if you read this verse carefully, what does that sound like? Doesn't that literally sound like America today? Where you have a whole bunch of children just ripping and running on the streets. You can't tell them anything. You can't touch. You can't. You know the Bible says, "Spare not the rod." You can't even discipline your child anymore without DCS being called on you, or Child Protective Services being called. So children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Now think about that. This was prophecy, guys. This is in the book of Isaiah. This is prophecy. So the prophet Isaiah somehow got a revelation from the Most High, and he knew that sometime in the future that children would oppress and that women will rule over them. That's this matriarchal society that we're living in today. And this is the reason why, these topics, these discussions need to be had, because literally that's what's taking place. And I want you to understand why this is so wicked, right? Because you can read this, but the verse ends off by saying, "O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err," meaning to error, "and destroy the way of thy paths." So in other words, when you live in a society, when you start seeing the children oppressing, all the gang violence, you can't even discipline your children anymore. When you start seeing women rule over them, where now men, are being attacked just for being masculine. They call it toxic masculinity. When you see a society like that, just know what time we're living in. That this such a society, they are trying to destroy you. That type of society, if you walk with that mindset, your life will be destroyed. So this is the reason why I come, with these videos. But I want to actually end off by playing this video one last time, just because what she said was truly powerful. Let's hear it.
Let me get this straight. You have been telling men for years that you don't want them, that you don't need them, that they don't meet your standards, that they don't treat you right, that you can pay for your own hair, you can pay for your own nails, you can afford your own home, you can afford your own car. Men are good for nothing. You're strong, you're independent. But then you get mad.
Put it on the chat, y'all. I should have asked this earlier, but put it in the chat. Can you resonate with that? Do you know a woman in your life where it might even be your mom, unfortunately, your mom, aunties, your sister, they have engaged in that type of rhetoric? I don't need a man. I could do it all for myself, right? If you could resonate with that, put one in the chat. Put one in the chat. Just so, because I want to know, is this girl right here, this Asian woman to the right, is she just making it up, or is she valid in her critique of the American woman? Because again, if this is true, and I believe it is, if women are actually saying that they don't need a man, then why are they so adamantly against the Passport Brothers? They really shouldn't care. They really shouldn't care. I mean, you don't need a man, so why call them weak? Why call them weak? I don't know if it's some form of reverse psychology to make these men somehow, regret leaving, and maybe it might cause them to come back, but you're certainly not going to get it your way. No. It's not. I don't think it's reverse psychology. I think these women are literally so psychotic that they want something, but their words are literally saying the opposite. They want men to lead. They want men in their lives, period. But they keep literally running these men off by opening their damn mouth. Some of these women, straight up, I'm going to just keep it a buck. Some of y'all women, y'all need to shut the hell up. Y'all sincerely need to just shut the hell up. Because you're literally running these men away. All right.
Mad when these men go to another country to actually find a woman that has the qualities that they are looking for in a wife. Make it make sense. I also want to talk about why this mindset that so many Western women have is actually extremely problematic. Because not only are you putting down the men who are going overseas with pure intentions, You're also putting down the woman from these other countries solely off of the fact that they were not brought up in a Western culture.
Come on.
Because you're calling them uneducated, you're calling them poor, you're calling them weak, you're calling them vulnerable. You're creating a superiority complex where you are at the top and women from all of these other countries are at the bottom. Now let me tell you something. If you were really superior, the men would not be leaving. And you would not be single.
You would not be single. Mercy, mercy, mercy. All right, y'all. Anyway, I'm not going to be here too long. I just was trying a new format today, you know, where I was doing a lot of these videos. Literally all of this was done on my phone, mic and all. If the sound quality was good, I would really appreciate it if you guys are able to tell me, give me some feedback to let me know that this setup actually worked well. But more importantly, you know, what did you guys think about this whole topic as a whole? You know, again, the topic was Passport Brothers. Only weak men travel. Is that true? Is that true? Are the Passport Brothers weak because they choose to travel overseas in search for love, in search for a woman that actually will meet their needs? Are they weak for that? Should men in America be more strong? They should be more mentally strong, and they need to step their game up because, you know, they're scrubs. You know, American men are a bunch of busters. They're scrubs, and they need to just step their game up so they can actually meet the level of these American women. Yeah, I think that's how they would put it. We gotta come up to their level because we're a bunch of scrubs. We're soft, you know. Hey, this is ridiculous. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment down below, do all that YouTube stuff. And with that being said, Nick over and out. The message sent. Jesus is king, y'all.